Hello and a very warm welcome to Verdict 2014 on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with all the news and updates in the assembly elections in Maharashtra and Haryana. Let us begin by taking a look at the top stories. Top leaders launch high voltage campaign in Maharashtra and Haryana. Prime Minister Modi and Congress President Sonia Gandhi cross votes in Maharashtra. INLD Chief Om Prakash Chautala to appear in the Delhi High Court today against a CBI complaint of violation of bail conditions. Says he's not afraid to go back to jail. Deadline today evening for Union Minister Nitin Gadkari to reply to Election Commission notice that pulled him up for allegedly asking the voters to accept bribes. Congress wants Modi to apologize after Election Commission gave a clean sheet to the Haryana government on the Vadra land deals. BJP claims Huda government hastily finalized deal to benefit in polls. And the Shirpur model of water conservation and election plank in Maharashtra. INLD leader Om Prakash Chautala will have to take a break today from his busy campaigning schedule. Now, Chautala is to appear before the Delhi High Court today after the CBI complained that he was violating the bail conditions by actively campaigning for the last 2 weeks. The court had last month cancelled his bail on medical grounds and directed him to surrender by 17th of October. But the CBI requested the court to ask him to surrender immediately. Now, Chautala has said that he is not afraid of going back to jail. Sources say that Chautala, in fact, has... A special CBI court has also summoned Chautala today in a disproportionate assets case. The CBI had filed a charge sheet against Chautala in March for allegedly possessing assets worth 6 crore rupees disproportionate to his known sources of income.
देखिए इसीलिए तो उनको सम्मन किया गया है क्योंकि वो नियम कानूनों के अंतर्गत जो थे उसके खिलाफ काम कर रहे थे। वो मेडिकल ग्राउंड पे थे, वो तबीयत के आधार पर बाहर आए थे और उसके बाद चुनाव कार्यों में लगे थे। तो निश्चित तौर पे कोर्ट ने उनको सम्मन भेजा, अब उनको सफाई देनी पड़ेगी।
And now we bring you all the election related stories from the state of Haryana. Well, just 4 days of campaigning left in Maharashtra and Haryana that are headed to assembly polls on the 15th of October. Rahul Gandhi addressed a spate of rallies in Haryana yesterday, and he trained his guns on accusing the NDA government at the centre of appeasing the industrialists. In fact, Rahul also held out praise for the state's sportspersons, even coming out with a new slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Pehelwan. Here is more.
With only a few days left for the forthcoming assembly polls in Haryana, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi had a hectic day of campaigning in the state. He addressed 3 rallies on Thursday, his highest so far in this election season. Continuing from where he left off in Maharashtra, Rahul Gandhi was severe in his criticism of the BJP-led government at the centre.
अमेरिका की बड़ी कंपनी आई मोदी जी के पास और उन्होंने उनसे कहा देखिए हमें हिंदुस्तान में दवाई बेचनी है, आपने मिनिमम प्राइस लगा रखी है, इसको आप हटाइए, दवाई की हटाइए। जाने से पहले मोदी जी ने प्राइस को हटा, मिनिमम प्राइस को हटा दिया और पहले जो दवाई 8,000 रुपए में बिकती थी, कैंसर की दवाई 8,000 रुपए में आप लेते थे, अब 1 लाख रुपए की हो गई।
Rahul Gandhi was accompanied by Haryana Chief Minister Bhupendra Singh Hooda during his rallies. For the second time in as many days, he questioned Prime Minister's silence on ceasefire violations.
बॉर्डर पे हमारे लोग मारे जा रहे हैं, 6 दिन के लिए एक शब्द नहीं निकला और फिर कहते हैं भैया जल्दी ठीक हो जाएगा। वो जो मरे हैं उनका क्या होगा?
Rahul Gandhi also had words of praise for internationally acclaimed sportspersons belonging to the state. He coined a new slogan for Haryana, referring to the contribution of farmers, soldiers and sportspersons from the state.
जो कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स में, ओलंपिक गेम्स में हिंदुस्तान का नाम रोशन करते हैं, उन पर गर्व है। नया नारा बनना चाहिए, हरियाणा के लिए नया नारा बनना चाहिए, जय जवान, जय किसान, जय पहलवान।
Rahul Gandhi also accused the BJP government at the centre of working to dilute welfare initiatives brought in by Congress like the Land Acquisition Act and Manrega. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that was the Congress campaign, and the BJP has also launched a high-pitched poll campaign by pressing its top leadership into campaigning to realize its target of Mission 60+ seats in the state. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi has already addressed 8 public meetings covering various parts of the state, a number of other top BJP leaders have also been involved in the campaign. BJP is hoping to wrest power from the Congress, which has been in power in the state for the past 2 consecutive terms. Now, BJP's best electoral performance in the state so far has been winning 16 seats out of the 20 contested by the party in 1987. However, it will be a tough equation for the party to achieve its mission after splitting its alliance with the HJC ahead of the polls. And in other news, a day after the Election Commission gave a clean chit to the Haryana government on the Robert Vadra's land deals, the Congress sought an apology from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Congress hit back on a Thursday, saying that the Prime Minister should not embarrass his position by making false allegations in the matter. However, BJP stuck to its allegations that the Huda government finalized the deal hastily to benefit in the forthcoming polls. On Monday, Modi had asked the poll panel to take serious note of the Huda government in Haryana clearing the land deal between Vadra and the DLF.
BJP has ended up with an egg on its face. They wanted to give a bad name to the Congress by raking up this issue, but finally where they are. And that's why I feel that the Prime Minister of this country has lowered the dignity of his office by making sensational and false allegations. He should apologize to the Chief Minister of Haryana.
शायद हरियाणा सरकार को मालूम है कि हम हारने वाले हैं, इसलिए इस लैंड को कुछ ट्रांजैक्शन को वैलिडेट करने की बात हुई थी. Truth has a very uncanny habit of appearing and reappearing, at times with conclusive evidence.
All right, my colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us from Kurukshetra for more on that story. Akhilesh, just 4 more days for the campaigning to get over. Obviously, all the parties are putting their star campaigners out there in the field.
Yeah, now all the campaigners, now I am in Kurukshetra, and if you see that Kurukshetra is the place of Naveen Jindal, and Naveen Jindal till now was inactive, but from today onwards, Naveen Jindal has also been active, and he's going to have a show in Kurukshetra. And the second incident that Prakash Chautala has to go to court today, and if it happens, if he is sent back again to the jail, it will have an impact in the whole state. People are telling that if he goes to the jail, he may get sympathy wave. But another sort of people are also telling that if he goes to the jail, there will be a demoralizing impact on his workers. So things are on both sides. And if you see the BJP,
right,
BJP is a bit upbeat. But this thing that court has given a clean sheet to Huda government,
yes,
it has given a positive message for the workers of the Congress. And now Congress workers, if you talk to them, they are a bit encouraged, and
right,
everybody is coming out of their hibernation, and now they are in campaign mode. So they are telling that we are now reaching in our whole campaign capacity, and next 4 or 5 days are going to be very crucial. How Congress is going to the people and try to persuade them that it was all that conspiracy of the opposition people, that they were not recognizing the development that had taken place in the state for last 10 years. They
right,
are telling that in the last 10 years, the development of Haryana has been unparalleled to any other government in the whole history of Haryana. They are telling that
right,
5 thermal power stations have been established here, and 1 nuclear power plant is also proposed, and it is going to be established in coming years. So
right,
Haryana government and Congress are telling that we have been lacking in propaganda. We could not have our proper propaganda machinery from the last Lok Sabha election, but now they are going from village to village, from door to door, and I think the next 4 days you will see that there is a surge in the whole Congress flock.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those details. We'll keep coming back to you. So obviously the Congress party looks to be in a very upbeat mood and BJP, of course, are relying on the Modi magic. Meanwhile, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari has to reply by today evening to an election commission's show cause notice for allegedly asking voters to accept bribe during campaigning in the Maharashtra assembly polls. Now, Gadkari was initially asked to reply to the notice by the evening of 8th of October, but the deadline was extended for 2 more days following a request from him. Now, in its notice, the Election Commission had asked Gadkari to explain a remark that he had made during a public meeting in Nilenga Assembly constituency on 5th of October that appeared to urge people in Maharashtra to accept bribes for their votes. The Election Commission held that Gadkari's statements prima facie violated the provisions of the Model Code of Conduct. And now, here are all the election-related news from the state of Maharashtra. Well, another hectic day of campaigning for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Maharashtra on Thursday. Besides Modi, Congress President Sonia Gandhi and several other top leaders addressed several rallies in different parts of the state, seeking votes for their parties and taking jibes at each other. Here is a report.
It was a clash of the political stalwarts in Maharashtra on Thursday. Statewide rallies were held by the top leaders including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Congress President Sonia Gandhi, Home Minister Rajnath Singh, BJP President Amit Shah and BSP Supremo Maha-yuti. Prime Minister Modi continued with his whirlwind campaign in the state. The highlight was his rally at Baramati, which is the family bastion of NCP chief Sharad Pawar. Modi launched a scathing attack on the NCP-Congress alliance that was in power for 15 years. He accused the former UPA government of misgovernance.
देश को तो आजादी मिली, लेकिन बारामती के नागरिक, बारामती के किसान दूसरी गुलामी में फंस गए हैं। ऐसे लोगों ने यहां कब्जा कर लिया, ऐसे लोगों ने कब्जा कर लिया, न आपका खेत सलामत है, न आपकी जमीन सलामत है, न आपके सपने सलामत है। यहां का किसान अपने हकों की लड़ाई लड़ रहा है और मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाता हूं भाइयों, आने वाले दिन सच्चे अर्थ में आपके लिए आजादी का अवसर लेकर के आएंगे 15 अक्टूबर को।
He also replied to opposition's charges on his silence over ceasefire violations by Pakistan.
जब सीमा ललकारती है ना, तब नेताओं की बयानबाजी नहीं होती है, जवानों की उंगली चलती है, ट्रिगर पर उंगली चलती है। और मैं देश के जवानों को बधाई देता हूं, सीमा पर बैठे हुए जवानों को बधाई देता हूं। उन्होंने हिम्मत और हौसले के साथ अपनी ताकत का परिचय दे दिया है।
Congress President Sonia Gandhi too campaigned extensively for her party in Kolhapur and Aurangabad. In her poll speech, Sonia accused the BJP of spreading hatred in the society.
जात पात, धर्म, भाषा और संप्रदाय के नाम पर भेदभाव करने वालों के जाल में नहीं फंसना। जो हमें आपस में लड़ाते हैं, जो समाज में नफरत फैलाते हैं, वह महाराष्ट्र का भला कभी नहीं चाहेंगे।
With just a few days left for the polls, top BJP leaders like Rajnath Singh and Amit Shah also campaigned in Maharashtra, trying to woo voters. BSP Supremo Maha-yuti also addressed rallies in Solapur and Pune. Her party is contesting alone on almost all seats, both in Maharashtra and Haryana. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
My colleague Raj Kamal is now joining us from Mumbai for more on that story. Raj Kamal, now just few days to go for the assembly elections there, and all the star campaigners are there. Obviously, there is a feverish pitch for the elections now.
Aishwarya, only 3 days left if we count day by day, because 13th evening 5 o'clock parties have to close their campaigns. The curtains will be down by 13th evening. So it's crucial last 3 days for all parties. Especially Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been campaigning and all his ministers are here. So it's very crucial for them and they want to connect with every citizen. There are 36 districts. It's very difficult for them to go to each and every constituency and campaign. So they are addressing these rallies using social and electronic media platforms to communicate the message. But war of words is still continuing. It's getting bitter and bitter every day. Whether it's Shiv Sena throwing war of words at BJP or Congress and NCP, it will get bigger in next 2 days. But it's crucial for them because Election Commission is strictly monitoring all these campaign rallies because there are several cases were registered against party leaders in Maharashtra and also in Haryana. I was told that it's very crucial. Election Commission is very cautious of these campaigns.
Right. Rajkamal, also it will be very interesting. What numbers are the parties really looking at? Because obviously after the falling apart of the various alliances in the state, the numbers become really crucial and that would also determine how the post-poll scenario is going to be figured out.
It's a 288 seat assembly, Aishwarya. 145 is the magic number for any party or an alliance to occupy the power. So it's 145 plus. Mission 145 has been BJP's campaign in the state. NCP is also gave it a different name, but 145 seats is also their target. But political analysts believe that in a five-cornered contest, it's very difficult for any one single party to occupy power. So they all will have to have some post-poll ally. That is why Raj Thackeray going close to Shiv Sena and giving some signals that they may come after post-poll. BJP is also looking for allies like NCP is very evident.
Right.
If you look at the campaign, every party is campaigning against BJP. So BJP is the target. So that and several poll surveys in Maharashtra show maximum number of seats to BJP. But we cannot and we should not predict anything because in this five-cornered contest, even a single vote can change the fate of these politicians.
Absolutely. So it is very clear, Rajkamal, that the regional parties, the smaller parties are going to determine a lot after the elections.
Aishwarya, especially Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, Raj Thackeray and his team are targeting that because they are looking for various options because Maharashtra has 11 municipal corporations and smaller parties are at power. Shiv Sena has 5 and MNS has 3, other 2 parties have 2. So these parties, Maharashtra is an election-oriented state. Every year there is one election. It's very difficult for them to ignore any allies and go for polls. It's just not assembly because next year there will be Bombay Municipal Corporation elections and there are several municipalities where parties need another party to form government. So political parties will look for allies. It's a war of words for a few days. That's it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rajkamal. You keep getting us all the updates. We'll keep coming back to you. And now let's take a look at what all rallies are lined up for Maharashtra and Haryana today. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is slated to address 3 rallies in Maharashtra. At 10 in the morning, he will be addressing a rally in Brahmapuri. Later in the afternoon, he will be in Dhamangao and then in Hingoli. Now, speaking about Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, well, he will also be in Maharashtra today. He is scheduled to address 2 rallies, one at Rajiv Nagar in Nasik and the other one at Saswad in Pune. Then, speaking about BSP Supremo Maha-yuti, she'll be addressing 2 rallies in Maharashtra, one in Bhandara and the other one in Nagpur. All right, time to take a very short break here. But on the other side of the break, door-to-door campaigning the norm in upmarket Malabar's Hill constituency in Mumbai. That and other key constituency profiles coming up in just a short while. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back after the break, and today we are profiling Mumbai's high-profile Malabar Hill Assembly segment, and that segment is heading for a tough bipolar fight. Well, it is between Maharashtra Women's Commission chairperson and Raj Thakeray's legal advisor. Now, the constituency in the heart of the financial capital houses some of the country's wealthiest people, and campaigning styles are decidedly different. Our correspondent Rajkamal Rao finds out more.
Opulent sky rises, the richest of India's rich and election season. Mumbai's Malabar Hill houses some of India's biggest business names. Many of the residents are Gujaratis and Parsis who came to Mumbai in the 1920s and made it big. Poll time here takes on a decidedly different flavour, with a particular focus on door-to-door canvassing. Malabar Hill Assembly segment is presently held by the BJP. The sitting MLA has been shifted to another seat, which has changed political dynamics. Maharashtra Women's Commission Chairman and President of Congress Women's Wing Sushiben Shah is seeking votes on the basis of claims of 15 years of the party's work in the area.
Maharashtra is the #1 state of the country, and the Gujarat model certainly cannot work here. The Gujarati Asmita, as they call it, cannot work here. Here we have local problems, we have local leadership. The BJP here does not have a local leadership, does not have a CM face. Whereas the Congress party here in the face of Prithviraj Chauhan has a very clean, efficient administrator.
Sushiben's biggest opponent is advocate turned politician Rajendra Shirodkar, whose biggest strength is that he is an out-and-out local. Shirodkar has been a backbone of the Maharashtra Navnirman Sena MNS and is a close aide of Raj Thackeray.
We have lots of problems of water, we have accommodation problems, we have housing problems, we have basic electricity problems, the infrastructure has totally failed, and therefore we are addressing the local people on these issues which have been declared by us in our blueprint. People want a definite change. People are fed up with the internal politics of BJP and Sena.
The Malabar Hill segment is one of the few areas in the state where the MNS has been joined by Shiv Sena cadres. With the BJP and NCP virtually out of the picture, a keenly watched bipolar contest is round the corner.
Despite being a centrally located constituency, Malabar Hill lacks basic infrastructure. Access to school and access to education are still a distant reality. With camera person Siddharth, Rajkamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
And staying with Maharashtra, well, till about a year ago, Shirpur in northwest Maharashtra was just one of the many underdeveloped towns in the state. But in the last few months, a water conservation initiative in Shirpur has received a flurry of accolades. The Shirpur model of water conservation has even turned into a political selling point in campaigning for the polls that are happening on 15th of October. Our correspondent Kriti Mishra has more.
At Shirpur, water conserved means money earned. But earlier, there were no reservoirs or irrigation canals, no development and no attention of the political bigwigs. Not forgetting to mention silting of the streams and rivulets that obstructed flowing water. But now, Shirpur model of water conservation has become the novel flavour in this poll season.
Retired geologist Suresh Khanapurkar is a staunch RSS supporter. Amrish Patel is an enthusiastic Maharashtra Congress leader. But their conflicting political ideologies did not get in the way of a joint initiative to quench the thirst of a drought-prone region. Khanapurkar and Patel collaborated to provide irrigation and drinking water to 35 Shirpur, and today their hard work over the past 10 years has resulted in steady increase of the once depleting groundwater level.
हमने किसानों की जमीन में खेती में पानी नहीं लाया तो उसका डेवलपमेंट नहीं होगा। किसान सुखी होगा तो वहाँ का मजदूर सुखी होगा, और मजदूर सुखी होगा तो कम से कम इस एरिया में कम से कम अराजकता जल्दी होगी।
यहाँ पहले कुछ भी नहीं था, छोटा झरना था और पूरा पानी बरसात के टाइम 2 घंटे में तापी को चला जाता था। यहाँ कुछ हमने 5 डैम बनवाए।
And results of their efforts have begun to tell. Groundwater is available in Shirpur at just 150 feet deep. Compare that to between 400 and 800 feet in many neighbouring villages. The water conservation method initiated by Khanapurkar and Patel consisted of 3 specific measures. The first is well recharging using canal water. Secondly, cement structures or bunds on streams. And third, widening and deepening of streams. And what a difference these measures have made to the lives of Shirpur's farmers. In one of the most arid regions of the state, average per capita income has gone up a whopping 1 lakh rupees per year.
अभी पानी आ गया तो फिर हमारी जिंदगी बदल गई। भिंडी, टमाटर और दाड़िम लगाया अभी और कपास ये मिलने लग गया है, इसके मतलब हमारा जिंदगी अच्छा हो गया ऐसा।
For the last 25 years, Shirpur has been a Congress stronghold. This time, though, watchers predict a close BJP-Congress contest. For the candidates here, the biggest vote winner is a promise to take what has come to be known as the Shirpur water conservation model further.
ये काफ़ी ऐसी जगह पे हुआ है कि जहाँ पे इरिगेटेड लैंड्स ऑलरेडी लोगों को उससे कुछ फ़ायदा नहीं हो रहा है। ये ऐसी जगह पे ले जाना जरूरी है कि जहाँ पे वो पानी वहाँ पे नहीं है, तो उसके वो मॉडिफिकेशन ज़्यादा।
जो वाटर कॉन्सर्व जो हमारे मतदार संघ में चल रहा है वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बढ़ाने की कोशिश हम करने वाले हैं, क्योंकि उसमें क्या फ़ायदा है, खेती वाले को पानी कभी मिल गया तो हर इंसान सुख प्राप्त कर सकता है।
Prithviraj Chavan's government had announced plans to invest 800 crore rupees on taking the Shirpur model to other parts of the state. Can that bring them to power, or will other parties snatch the mantle? Whatever the political landscape ahead, the Shirpur method of water conservation is here to stay. Kriti Mishra in Shirpur for Rajya Sabha TV.
And shifting gears to Haryana now, well, development shortfalls and soaring unemployment remain the major election issues in poll-bound Fatehabad district. The incumbent Congress MLAs in the three constituencies here face a tough fight from the BJP, Haryana Janhit Congress and also the INLD. Ravindra Shiron has this report.
High voltage electioneering in Fatehabad ahead of assembly polls here on the 15th of October. The district's three assembly constituencies, Fatehabad, Rajya and Tohana, have close to 10 lakh eligible voters. The Congress that has held the district for several terms can't breathe easy. The area's proximity to Sirsa and Hisar means a rising influence of the INLD and Haryana Janhit Congress.
इस इलाके में कोई विकास नहीं हुआ, ना कोई रोजगार मिला, सिर्फ रोहतक जिले के अलावा कहीं रोजगार नहीं मिला। इस इलाके से इतनी बेइंसाफी हुई शायद किसी इलाके के साथ हुई हो।
फतेहाबाद में पिछले 10 साल में बड़ी अराजकता का माहौल है। ना लोगों को निरंतर बिजली सप्लाई मिल रही है, ना पीने का शुद्ध पानी मिल रहा है, सड़कें टूटी हुई है, किसान की दुर्गति हो रही है, व्यापारी भय के माहौल में अपना काम कर रहा है।
Not just these two regional players, the BJP is hoping to make inroads on the back of the Modi wave. Time and again, the Congress has dismissed the existence of any such wave in Haryana and questioned whether Modi can make an impact on the people. But the BJP insists it has got the upper hand.
हमारे जितने बेरोजगार भाई हैं उनको नई इंडस्ट्री लगाएंगे, हम रोजगार देंगे, बढ़िया सड़कें बनाएंगे, जैसे मोदी जी का सपना है कि हम बढ़िया से बढ़िया हाई स्पीड की ट्रेनें चलाएंगे, फतेहाबाद में ट्रेन लाएंगे।
The Congress on its part claims Fatehabad district has seen widespread progress in the last 10 years of Congress rule in Haryana. The party even rejects the rising unemployment blame.
कांग्रेस बढ़िया पार्टी है, 3 महीने में मोदी साहब की सरकार में देख लिया। लोग पहले ही कहते हैं कि राजस्थान के रिजल्ट देख लो, बिहार के रिजल्ट देख लो, उसके बाद उत्तरांचल के देख लो, गुजरात में रिजल्ट के देख ले, तो लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं वो हवा बदल गई, वो इशू डिफरेंट था। तब लोग यहाँ भी बूढ़े बूढ़े कहते थे कि मोदी की डालेंगे, पर अब मामला ये है कि नहीं, हमें वो करना है। भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा हमारे मुख्यमंत्री रहे, लोग उन्हें तीसरी बार बना रहे।
Watchers say that for the first time, Fatehabad could go any way. The need for development has taken over as the central theme of these elections, and the people's verdict may set aside age-old affiliations. With Ravindra Shiron, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, you can watch Verdict 2014 at 6 in the evening as well. But in this edition of Verdict 2014, that's it from me. Thanks for watching and goodbye.